Could you think of achieving a significant pay raise, only to find yourself struggling financially just a few months later? Surprisingly, the money itself might not be the problem. The issue could be your own mind playing tricks on you. Hello, and welcome to all of you tuning into Practical Pursuits HQ. I'm John, and if you're passionate about enriching your life through practical wisdom, self-improvement, and financial education, you've landed on the right channel. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the psychological traps that are secretly affecting how you handle your money. Stick around. This could be a game changer for your financial well-being. So what are these tricks, you may be asking yourself? Well, let's dive right into our first psychological trap: money illusion. So, what is money illusion? It's the tendency to think of money in nominal terms rather than in real terms. In simple language, it means you focus on the face value of money rather than its actual purchasing power. For example, if you get a 5% raise at work but inflation is at 6%, you might feel richer, but in reality, you've actually lost purchasing power. Now, why should you care about money illusion? Well, it can seriously skew your financial decisions. You might think you're getting a great deal with a 2% interest savings account, but if inflation is at 3%, you're effectively losing money. Or you might stay in a job because you got a small raise, ignoring the fact that you could earn much more elsewhere when you adjust for inflation. So, how can you overcome this trap? First, always adjust for inflation when considering raises, investments, or any financial decisions. Use online inflation calculators to get a more accurate picture of your money's worth. Second, think in terms of real rates of return, not just nominal rates. That 7% return on investment might not be as attractive when you consider a 3% inflation rate. Finally, educate yourself. The more you understand about economic factors like inflation, the better equipped you'll be to see through the illusion. Moving on to our second psychological trap: lifestyle inflation. Lifestyle inflation is the tendency to increase your spending as your income goes up. You get a promotion, and suddenly that compact car isn't good enough. You need a luxury SUV. Or maybe you start dining at high-end restaurants instead of your usual spots. The more you earn, the more you spend almost automatically. But here's the kicker: lifestyle inflation can sabotage your financial goals like nothing else. Imagine you're climbing a mountain, but the higher you go, the heavier your backpack gets. Eventually, you'll find it harder to climb, right? The same goes for your financial journey. You may earn more, but your increasing expenses make it difficult to save, invest, or even stay out of debt. So, what can you do to keep lifestyle inflation in check? Firstly, have a clear financial plan. Know your short-term and long-term goals and allocate your income accordingly. Secondly, adopt a percentage-based budgeting system. If you get a raise, maintain the same percentage of income for savings, investments, and expenses. Lastly, practice gratitude and contentment. Often, the desire for more stems from a place of feeling like what we have isn't enough. Being grateful for what you already have can significantly curb the urge to spend unnecessarily. Next on our list is a trap that can limit not just your finances, but your entire outlook on life: the scarcity mindset. What is it? Simply put, it's the belief that there's never enough, whether it's money, time, or other resources. You might constantly worry about running out of money, even when you have enough in the bank. Or perhaps you're always hunting for deals and discounts, to the point where it consumes a lot of your time and energy. The scarcity mindset can act like a self-imposed cage around your financial growth. When you're constantly worried about not having enough, you become risk-averse. This could mean avoiding investments, not pursuing better job opportunities, or even hoarding money in a low-interest savings account. The irony? Your fear of scarcity creates the very scarcity you're afraid of. So how can you break free from this trap? The key is to develop an abundance mindset. Start by acknowledging the opportunities around you. There's more than one path to financial security, and often the resources you need to get there are abundant. Next, focus on what you can control, like your spending habits or your skills, rather than what you can't control, like market fluctuations. Lastly, celebrate your wins, no matter how small. Each success is proof that you can break free from scarcity and move towards abundance. Let's move on to another sneaky psychological pitfall: the sunk cost fallacy. This is the tendency to continue investing in a losing proposition because you've already invested time, money, or resources into it. Picture this. You bought a stock that's plummeting, but you keep holding on, thinking you should wait until you at least break even. Or maybe you keep pouring money into a car that's always breaking down, just because you spent so much on it already. The sunk cost fallacy is a huge hurdle in financial planning. It keeps you stuck in bad investments, drains your resources, and clouds your judgment. Basically, it forces you to make decisions based on emotional attachment to past investments rather than logical assessment of future value. So how do you recognize and avoid this trap? First, be aware of your emotional attachment to investments and be willing to cut your losses. It's tough, but sometimes the best decision is to walk away. Second, make it a habit to review your investments and other financial commitments regularly. Are they still serving your goals, or are you just clinging to them out of a sense of obligation? Finally, consult with a financial advisor or trusted friend who can provide an objective perspective. Sometimes, an outside opinion can help you see the fallacy for what it is and make a more rational decision. If you're finding these psychological insights eye-opening and useful for your financial journey, hit that thumbs up button. Your likes help us continue to bring you content that makes a real difference. Next up is a trap that can inflate your ego and deflate your wallet. Overconfidence bias. This is the tendency to overestimate your own abilities, especially when it comes to financial decision-making. Think your stock market was because you made a couple of good trades? Or maybe you believe you don't need a budget because you've always been good with money. That's overconfidence bias at work. This bias can be particularly dangerous because it blinds you to risks and limitations. You might take on investments that are far too risky, believing you can beat the market. Or you might skip important steps like diversifying your portfolio, thinking you don't need to hedge against risks. In the worst-case scenario, overconfidence bias can lead to financial ruin. So how do you keep your confidence in check? First, always seek a second opinion. No matter how sure you are, it's wise to consult others who can offer different perspectives. Second, continuously educate yourself. The world of finance is ever-changing, and the more you know, the more balanced your decisions will be. Lastly, set up checks and balances. Regularly review your financial decisions to ensure they align with your goals and risk tolerance. Now let's talk about a trap that can subtly influence your spending and investing decisions. The anchoring effect. This cognitive bias occurs when you fixate on an initial piece of information and use it as a reference point for future decisions. For example, you see a shirt originally priced at $100, but now is on sale for $50. You think you're getting a great deal, anchored by that initial $100 price tag. Or maybe you bought a stock at $20 a share and keep waiting for it to return to that price, even if the market conditions have changed. The anchoring effect can mislead you into making unwise purchases or sticking with poor investments. Your initial anchor might have nothing to do with the actual value of an item or an investment, but it skews your perception nonetheless. So how can you free yourself from the pull of these anchors? First, be aware that anchoring exists. Just knowing about it can help you think more critically. Second, always gather more information. Don't rely solely on the first piece of data you come across. Shop around, compare prices, and consider other investment options. Finally, question your assumptions. Ask yourself why you're sticking to a particular price or value, and whether it's still relevant. Last, but definitely not least, is a trap many of us fall into without even realizing it. Social comparison. This is the tendency to measure our own worth, success, or happiness against other people. Maybe you see a friend buy a new car and suddenly feel the urge to upgrade yours. Or perhaps you hear about a colleague's investment success and question your own financial choices. The danger here is that comparing yourself to others can steer you away from your own financial goals. It's like running a race while constantly looking sideways. You're likely to trip up or veer off course. Social comparison can lead to unnecessary spending, risky investments, or even debt, just to keep up with the Joneses. So how can you stay focused on your own journey? First, identify your own financial goals and stick to them. Your path to financial security will look different from anyone else's, and that's okay. Second, practice mindful spending and investing. Before making any financial move, ask yourself if it aligns with your goals, not someone else's. Lastly, cultivate an attitude of gratitude. Instead of focusing on what you don't have, appreciate what you do have. This simple shift in perspective can make a world of difference in how you approach your finances. So there you have it, 7 psychological traps that can silently sabotage your financial growth. From money illusion to social comparison, these biases can mislead you into making less than optimal financial decisions. But awareness is the first step toward change. Now that you're in the know, you're already ahead of the game. Feeling enlightened? There's more where that came from. We've got plenty of videos and playlists on practical wisdom and self-improvement that you won't want to miss. So make sure to delve deeper into our channel to continue your journey toward a better you. Before you go, if this video has opened your eyes and you think it can help others, don't hesitate to give it a thumbs up, share it, and of course, subscribe for more insights. We've got another exciting topic coming up in our next video that you won't want to miss. Thank you for taking the time to empower yourself today by watching this video. Your willingness to grow is what makes this community so special. Thank you for watching. Take care.